Great to see you this morning. We are going through a series of sermons, looking at the last few days of Christ's life, and this series of sermons. Instead of just starting with the last few days of Christ's life, what I'm doing is I'm backing up and talking about. We're talking about some stuff that we normally don't talk about, which is the post-resurrection appearances. We know Christ died on the cross. We know He went to the grave. We know He rose on the third day, and we'll talk much more about that in the upcoming weeks. But I thought we would just spend a couple of weeks and talk about some of the post-resurrection appearances, some things that Christ did, and people He talked with, and some things that he got involved with after He rose from the dead. Today we're going to talk about one of the great conversations that ever takes place in the Bible. And we're going to talk about one of my most favorite characters. Of all the people in the Bible that I associate or connect with, I connect with this guy. Because he had great leadership skills, but was not the sharpest tool in the shed. And I mean, this guy, he was the guy that, the phrase, he would, brush his teeth with gunpowder and then go shoot his mouth off. This was the guy that, instead of being ready, aim, fire, he was the fire, ready, aim kind of guy. Instead of being the guy that you would think would be the guy that you could count on, he was the guy who seemed to screw up the most. And you would think that his face would hurt from running into the walls that he put up around him all the time. And you'd think after a while he'd stop, but he didn't. His number one problem was getting out of his own way. And I associate with that very much. Maybe you do too. Yes, say yes. I'll answer the hard ones for you. Yes, you do. We all do. So turn your Bibles, if you would please, to the Gospel of John, chapter 21. John 21. If you have a Bible that looks like mine here, Church Bible is page 755. John chapter 21. Now, to understand the events that we're going to read about and talk about today, to understand the events we're going to study today, we have to understand the events that took place about a month earlier. Okay? So you have to recognize the timeline. Jesus Christ is going to be crucified on a Friday. He's going to be in the grave Friday afternoon through Saturday and then rise again sometime Sunday morning. Thursday night, before everything starts on Friday, that's whenever Jesus gets His disciples together and does some last-minute instruction, does some last-minute teaching, tries to explain so many things to them, and there's so many parts of this to understand. But as you read, you realize the disconnect between these guys and what Jesus was doing, because it's the night before He's going to die. He's told them several times He's going to die. He's trying to explain what's going to happen. They've not gotten it. They get together and they get into fights about who's the greatest among them. And it's like, if you want a lesson in competence and a lesson in don't get it, if you know who Jeff Dunham is and his peanut character, yeah. I mean, this is where it goes over there. I mean, they don't get nothing. They're fighting the whole night. It's this big thing. Jesus will actually, instead of trying to talk to them, Jesus will actually get up and wash their feet to try to demonstrate servanthood to them, and they don't get it. It's just this incredible stuff. But as things go along, He tells them that they're going to leave Him based on what is about to happen. And I want you to listen to this. Nick's going to read for us here. If you're taking notes, you want to write down Mark chapter 14. He's going to read verses 27 through 31. So lay it on us, Nick. Read it aloud for us.
You will all fall away, Jesus told them, for it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep will be scattered. But after I have risen, I will go ahead of you into Galilee. Peter declared, even if all fall away, I will not. I tell you the truth, Jesus answered. Today, yes, tonight, before the rooster crows, twice you will be... Before the rooster crows twice, you yourself will disown me 3 times. But Peter insisted emphatically, even if I have to die with you, I will never disown you. And all the others said the same.
What was intended to be an instruction turned out to be an attack. Jesus tells them, so things are going to get real hairy, real fast, real dicey, overwhelming, and whenever everything starts going down, it's going to be the fulfillment of prophecy, and I'm just letting you know up ahead of time that you're going to be so overwhelmed with everything you're going to leave. You're going to leave me. And what could have been an instructional time, what could have been something where they could learn from it, gets Peter hacked off. And Peter says, you know what, even the rest of these rejects do that, not me, and I can't believe you'd say something as stupid about me as that. Because I've never done anything like that. You know I'm with you all the way. You know I'm your main guy. You know that I'm prepared to go to jail for you. You know I'm prepared to die for you. You know that I'm your main man. You know you're my main man. You know that you're the whatever and I'm the whatever. And I'm the this and you're the that. And we're going to be together. And I don't care what the rest of these idiots do. And I'm with you. And you know all this. And how can you say something like that? And Jesus says, that's not really, I can't. Peter, not only do you not have a clue, but you'll deny that you even know who I am, not once, but 3 times before you see daylight. And Peter just gets hacked off more. Now, of course, that all transpires exactly like Jesus said. They will go, Jesus will be arrested, the disciples will scatter. John will record what happens. Because John is close friends with the high priest family, he's been given access to go into the courtyard of the house while the trial is going on, and Peter follows. They scatter once they're inside that courtyard, and Peter will move around the courtyard trying to stay away from people, yet not get too close to Jesus. And as he's moving around, they will continue to say to him, "You're one of the guys with him. Well, the way you act, the way you talk, the way you dress, you talk about ethnic profiling. Now that was what was going on here. They were profiling him all the way, and all this stuff happened. And he's going, no, not me. I don't know who the guy was. And finally, he will deny on the 3rd time, and the rooster will crow. Now Luke does an incredible job, and I preached about this several times because it is one. I think it is one of the key moments of everything. As Jesus is on trial, Peter will deny him 3rd time, and Luke tells us that Jesus will turn and make eye contact, and Peter will make eye contact with Jesus, and they will link up for just a little bit. And it's one of those great questions of what was in that look as they're identifying each other, as he's on trial for his life, and as Peter is denying him, and everything falls apart, and Peter absolutely fails at every level and runs. Fast forward to the events that we're about to read. It's about a month later. Jesus has been crucified, he has been buried in the ground, and he has risen from the dead. He has made multiple resurrection appearances. And the final thing that John writes about is this final resurrection appearance here in John 21. Now, what happens is you can kind of picture normal stuff, normal grieving process with the disciples. Jesus is alive. They know he's alive. They're overwhelmed. They've never been involved with the resurrection. They have no idea what this means. It's pretty much overwhelming to them. And so they can't sleep. So what are they going to do? Well, half of them are fishermen. They go, well, let's go fish. Well, okay, we'll do it too. So they all get the boats. They're all going to Sea of Galilee. They all fish all night. Nothing works. They haven't caught a thing. Dawn comes along. They're coming back to the seashore. There's a guy on the beach. He says, how's it going? They're saying, miserable. He says, well, you know what? Just for grins, why don't you throw the nets in one more time? They do. Nets fill up. They can barely pull it up on the boat. John says to Peter, that's the Lord. And once again, you see Peter, not ready aim fire, fire ready aim. Forrest Gump jumps right off the boat, starts swimming to the shore. Remember that Forrest Gump? You know? Captain Dan there on the dock, there goes the boat. Forrest comes swimming to the shore. Yeah. So, here goes Peter swimming to the shore. Here comes the rest of them, going on in, and they get there, and Jesus is going, oh, Peter, you feeling okay, buddy? That's my boat, but no, that's so they all get together. Jesus says, bring some fish over, let's make breakfast. They put everything together, everything's there, everything's fine. They eat breakfast, everybody's having a good time, and Jesus says to Peter, let's talk. John chapter 21. I'm going to start reading verse 15. I'm sorry, I said Captain Dan, didn't I? Sorry, Lieutenant Dan. Verse 15. When they had finished eating,